All right, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's Friday. Again, DayvissonGPT, the tech sales hacker. I'm here live for you. My goal is to answer any questions you have. I do have a few questions that I received throughout the week that I want to answer right here. I just need to find them. Um, and we have last week we talked about multiple topics, and the time went by really fast. So I'm super excited to be here today. For those listening for the first time, Dayvisson GPT was created to help the job seeker, the ones who are trying to hack into tech sales, the ones who are trying to get unstuck, to find a better job in tech sales, everything tech sales, everything job search, everything that I know, that I have learned throughout the years, coaching and talking to people every day. That's what I'm here for to answer. I call Dayvisson GPT. Is everything's here. No script, no LLM machines here. It's just me to answer your questions. So let's go, everyone. Let me see. Let me open here. Make sure I'm live. I'm not quite sure. I never know if I'm live or not. This is one of the things that I've been doing this for a few weeks already, and it's still really tricky to really understand how this works. It looks like there's a couple of people here listening. That's awesome. So I honestly, what I do, like right before I join this call, I literally say a quick prayer, and I know this is going to help someone. So whoever's listening now or live or the recorded version on Facebook, on YouTube, or whatever on LinkedIn, I hope my biggest hope is that this 1 hour that I dedicate here every week to answer questions to help you will serve someone. It can be the one. It can be one, 10, 100,000 for me. As long as it's helping one person, it's for me it's worth it the time here. I created this because I do not have hours and hours throughout the week to answer all the questions that I get and all the requests to talk. So this is the time. All right. And by the way, I do have a masterclass coming up on Monday. So I'm going to plug right here, right now, what I'm going to spend 2 hours, 1 hour and a half, and then Q&A helping. Let me open my page here. Helping tech sellers who feel stuck in their career, who feel like they need to move up, they need to find something better. That masterclass is for you, specifically for you. Um, so that's gonna be Monday. And if you do want to do the masterclass, if you feel like you want to do the masterclass, all you gotta do first find out your profile. Let me let me do this. Find out your profile, what kind of job seeker you are, and then you're gonna come more armed and more prepared to have a more interactive session. So you join the masterclass, take the quiz. So questions, everyone. Anybody has any questions? If you're listening to this right now, now's the time. Drop your live questions here. Um, or send on my DM. Okay, I don't need my glasses. Okay, I'm ready. If you don't talk, I'm going to go over my list. So I have a couple of things that I would like to talk about here, and I get this question all the time, and maybe I can start with that. But before I dive deep into the actual my thoughts, the thoughts that I have for this week, I just want to talk about this week. So, as everyone know, I'm a father, and now it's summertime, so we're just kind of busy. I've just been busy with running the business, family. Last year, this about the same time last year, last summer, we had a really fun vacation. We went to DC, Washington DC with my kids and and it was fun. We got to know the White House and all that cool stuff. This time we're just here in Dallas, Texas, and there's more things coming up soon. Or we're just busy and trying to think ways that I can give more and more value here to the community. And I have a lot of ideas, starting with the masterclass next week, but I have other things that I'm planning to do. So if you have ideas of things that I can do to help you, send me um, send me a DM, post here on the chat. My biggest goal is to provide as much value as possible. Value meaning insights and ideas and tips and tricks and strategies so you can land your next job faster, right? Because you can try to do by yourself. You can follow all the LinkedIn gurus and all the job coaches, and you can either do that, try to do by yourself, you follow everyone, try to apply all those strategies, or if you got to a stage that you need, one-to-one help, then find the right coach, find the right person to help you, right? Um, so that's what I would recommend. A lot of times we're going circles. The only thing that you should not be doing is just going circles and circles and circles and doing the same thing over and over and over and trying to get different results, right? So try something different. I'm trying something different next week to better help my clients and the community here. So every week, try something different. If your strategies are not working right now, um, do it. Make a change, right? Find something that you can do. Um, so something that I listen, I'm on LinkedIn here all the time, and I'm also reading posts and making comments on the career coaches. And something that's happening now, it's that AI is definitely help both sides of the job search, right? It's helping the recruiters, help the hiring managers. They can quickly draft the job descriptions. They can quickly draft emails and automate follow ups and so there's no excuse right now, everyone. There's no excuse to ghost anyone. Any recruiter, any organization can create an automation that can at least somehow personalize an answer to the job seeker, so they're not like just 100% ghosted. It doesn't even have to be 100% personalized feedback, but some sort of a feedback. I mean, just think about it. Recruiters now can record your interview. They can use an AI tool that provides the feedback. Let's say if that person does not move forward on the interview process, but at least the AI can come up with a personalized feedback based on the resume, LinkedIn profile, the type of interview, the role that the person did, and then automatically draft a feedback, and the recruiter just have to push the button and send, right? So there's no excuses anymore for the organizations, corporations, big tech, small tech, startups, whatever, to not uh, be more human, right? Use AI, the the automation side, to be more human, to bring more humanity to this whole interview process, right? Now, on the other side, the job seekers can, we use AI in my coaching. We have an AI platform that's powered by CareerFlow, by the way. So we can get resumes like this. We can cover letters, personalize LinkedIn, can personalize. Yeah, I mean, it saves so much time, right? Amazing. But here's a problem that's happening on the market right now, and that's the video that I watched on LinkedIn this week. So there's a big problem happening right now. Recruiters and companies are getting even more applications because it's easier to apply. So they're getting bombarded. Before it was busy, now it's busier and it's way more competitive. So, which means that you have to find a way to stand out. There's no way around. There's no way around. And the number one, uh, the number one platform, the number one strategy, the number one place that you need to be in order to stand out, in order to move forward, in order to not get ghosted, in order to get interviews, in order to move, the interview process is leveraging LinkedIn. You need to learn how to use LinkedIn. There's a lot of people teaching how to use LinkedIn. All the coaches, 100% of the coaches, if a career coach is not teaching you how to leverage LinkedIn, it's not boosting your LinkedIn profile, it's not coaching you on how you can use LinkedIn, run far, far, far away from that career coach because it's super outdated, right? His strategies or her strategies, whatever, will not work for you. So you need visibility. Just think about this. I like to write stuff down. I don't see any questions here. If there's any questions, I'll answer. If there's no questions, so I'm just gonna draw a quick picture here. And I'm very visual, so let's say you have applicants, and so like a lot of applicants, right? And let's say you want to stand out, right? So you want to stand out, so you want to be on the top. You want to be on the top. So let's say there's a job opening, there's a lot of applicants. You want to be the red one, of course. But in order to have the visibility, you have to learn how to use LinkedIn. Okay. Here. All right. So a lot of applicants, and you want to be on the top. If you want to be on the top, you need to learn how to leverage LinkedIn. You need to learn how to use LinkedIn to connect, to send DMs, to send messages, to send videos, to send your portfolio, to send your resume. Don't bypass the whole ATS system. There's multiple strategies that you can use in order to not get ghosted. So please, if there's one thing that you remember from today, I'm gonna be talking here for like, I don't know, 50 more minutes and answering your questions. But remember this, okay? If you want to stand out from the crowd, you have to use LinkedIn. You have to learn how to use LinkedIn. Um, you don't have to go live like this, like I'm doing right now. You don't have to do that. You don't even have to post. Okay, you don't even have to post, but you better go engage with your future team on LinkedIn, right? If they post something, engage with the organization, the company, especially if you're in tech sales. I mean, so just think about it. You're a hiring manager and you're a recruiter, and you're a candidate, right? So let's say, let me put the hat of a recruiter, and I go online and I'm searching for the next account executive. Right? And let's say I land in your profile, and your profile doesn't even have your picture or a banner, or it's just like sloppy and it doesn't really tell you your story. Guess what your story will be? A sloppy account executive. Bye. Recruiters don't have time. Listen, everyone. Before it was a resume, okay, the whole 6 seconds resume kind of a look. Now it's the whole 10 seconds LinkedIn kind of a look. I don't have those that specific statistics. I talked about maybe it's like a 10 seconds rule. If a recruiter, hiring manager opens your LinkedIn profile for 10 seconds, and they don't see that you're a potential strong candidate to represent the organization, to represent them as a seller, that if it doesn't show that you're active and you're actually leveraging the LinkedIn, which is the number one tool to find potential ICPs and potential clients, guess what? Ah, that's trouble, right? So start from the foundation, okay? Yes. So questions and any comments on that? If there's no comments, I have a list of things here that that I can talk about it. So recruiters aren't posting jobs anymore. They're doing not all recruiters are posting jobs anymore, because if once they post, it gets so crowded of applications. They are just being more. The recruiter is being more strategic, almost like head hunting, like literally head hunting, and kind of picking choosing, and then that's where they go to. They go to LinkedIn, right? They use the talent solutions from LinkedIn. They pay big money for that. LinkedIn does a really good job of helping them find the best talent. So if you want to be found, if you want to be visible, if you want to have success on your journey of job search, you gotta you have to is a must. You need to learn how to use LinkedIn. Now, if you get lucky and go to just some random job site, I don't even know what other job sites are out there, because all the opportunities that I have had in my life since college came from LinkedIn the last 20 years. So I don't even know how to use uh, other platforms. But if they're doing a good job out there, great, go use it. But I I'll continue to do LinkedIn. Thank you for doing this. I just saw my notifications. I can't watch right now, but I'll look forward. So I guys a little comment here. I can't watch right now, but I'm looking for interesting interest. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Fernando. Like all the recordings stay here on LinkedIn, which that's one of the reasons why I do this live, is because anybody can come and listen to this after the fact. In fact, a lot of people come to me after, and of course it's during the day, right? Since 9 a.m. 9:17 here in Dallas, Texas. But um, if you can listen right now, send me your questions later, and then I'll be able to answer. Let me go actually to one of the questions that I got this week. Um, so my biggest goal is to help people get unstuck. All right, move forward. Uh, as a coach, I see the potential, I see talent, and sometimes I'm sad because I'm literally sad because I can see that people could do so much more. They just don't see their potential. So there's something called the proximity bias, where you're so close to your talents, so close to your light, so close to your power and strengths, that you can't even see it, right? People from the outside have a better visibility to what you can do. And you take your own strengths and your own superpowers for granted a lot. And I've seen that a lot during I've been coaching for over 15 years, doing life coaching, mentorships, multiple types of mentorships, and career coaching and job search strategy. And one of my gifts, one of my talents is to see where people are and where they can be, and kind of, make the plans right individually, because everyone's different. Everyone needs a different prescription for a glass. So my prescription, right, it's different than your prescription. So I can't see from far, and I use this to drive. Some people can't see when they're reading, so they use a glass for reading. So we're all different, right? We all have different needs. Um, so what else am I going to try to say? It's really sad to see people stuck. So sometimes people ask me, and I got a question this week, like, when should I know that I should be leaving my job, right? When should I know that it's time to move on? When should I know that's enough is enough? When should I know that I just have to take a leap of faith and then and jump, right? And then go for my next opportunity. So that's a great question. So let me tell you right now how you can come up with something that can help you to do that strategically. So I like to think about everything as a strategy, right? So here I'm going to try to map here. And I get this question a lot. So I think it's time to talk about when it's time to move on. Okay, when when it's time to move on, right? When it's time to for you to get to your next job, or when you feel like you're stuck, you're being in the same role for 2 or 3 years, and you do your best, and you're a high performer, but there's no opportunities for you when it's time to move on. So I'm gonna answer that by talking about three specific things, and I will stop anytime if anybody has a question. I will stop. I'll answer. But for now, I'm just gonna keep talking. I don't see any questions here. So here we go. So the first reason, let me keep it simple here. Let's see. How can I explain this? So, all right. So the number one reason. Okay, so I'm gonna call compensation, and I'm gonna call leadership. I'm gonna call development. So I think there's three reasons, three, three reasons when you should probably, you know, sit down and think and reflect and talk to your wife or your partner and be like, hey, I think it's time to move on. If you're stuck, I'm not. Uh, so there's three reasons. So the first one, I would say, is compensation. The second one is leadership. And third one's development. So let me talk a little bit about each one. So, and by the way, if one is low, eh, I think it's okay to hang there and then go after, trying to make that one better. If two are low, that's a red flag, right? If two of those three you don't have it right now, it's kind of a red flag. But if they're all missing, it's time to run. Don't wait, please. Life is so short. Like, the older and older you get, the more and more realize that we just need to act as fast as possible when things are not just working the way we want. Um, Again, if it's that obvious, if that's that clear, then just move on. So let's say if your compensation, let's say if your compensation, right, it's not the greatest. You're not getting promotions. You're not getting paid what you want to get paid. Okay, it's not time to jump like right away. You could, but hold on, slow down. Um, you know, do some research. See if there's anything in certification that you can do to raise your value. Uh, you know, talk to your manager. Um, talk about career planning. Try to negotiate your salary. Try to do all those things that you can do in order to increase the income, right? And then if you cannot do it, then start thinking, okay, maybe you can hang on that position, that job for a while until you get things figured out. Okay. Now, the second one, it's like a lot of people talk about that people don't leave jobs, they leave leaders. People don't leave jobs, they leave leaders. Now, if your leader is bad, if your manager is bad, and then it's just micromanaging to the point that you can't even like handle anymore, that's a red flag, right? But let's say you're getting paid good money and you're learning a lot. Okay, maybe you can try to get coaching. You can try to have conversations, and then you can start build a board of advisors, people that can help you, coach you, and do different things that you can do in order to you know get over and be proactive, right? Don't be reactive and be proactive. Oh, but let's say they can still hang in there. Let's say your development is low, so you're not learning anything, your personal development, you're not growing, and then but you're getting paid well, you have a good manager, then find ways outside of work to learn new things, get do some courses. Don't depend on just of your job to grow personally, get back in college, go get another degree. Now, if one of those is missing, you can still hang in there. You can do different things to fix. If two of those are missing, that's a big flag. If the three of those are missing, run as fast as you can. Try to find something else. Get some mentorship, get a coach, serve, help. Do whatever you need to do to move away from the situation. Because again, you only have so much time, and your time is precious. So I'm gonna slow down, stop for a little bit, and I want to talk about what can I talk about here? DayvissonGPT, AI is everywhere. We talked about screening for interviews. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I even read a news this week. Like employers are leaning heavily on generated AI for hiring, automating resume reviews, chatbots for initial candidate contact. So they're freeing up recruiters for strategy, just like I talked about it. Same time, job seekers are expecting to bring AI native skills to the table. LinkedIn's founder Reef Hoffman says Gen Z graduates fluent in AI are normally attractive to employers. So no matter if you're a Gen Z or if you're J, X, or Y, or B, or C, whatever generation you are, we have to figure out this whole AI revolution so you don't stay behind for your job search and for your next step, right? For your career. Um, Perfect. So let me stop here for a second. Now, last week you talked about the type of job seekers, right? So there's nine profiles of job seekers out there, and I talked about three of them. I talked about the passive explorer, I talked about the invisible performer, and I talked about the ghosted closer. Now, today I want to talk about maybe two or three more. So let me slow down here for a second, see if there's any questions. And actually, before I go to talk about those profiles, let me go to my LinkedIn really fast. I got a question here this week that I want to answer. I want to answer this really bad. Let's see. I can't remember where. Just give me 1 second here, okay? I'm gonna find it. I saved somewhere. Okay. Okay, so if you do have a question, drop here, everyone. I'm just trying to find one that I saw this week. Um, Here we go. Okay. All right, here's a question that I have. I'm going to post here. I'm not going to put names, none of that. I'm actually going to type here. Oops. Listening to my own voice. Okay, here we go. All right, so okay, here we go. I found the question I'm going to answer here right now. I'm just trying to get to the question here so I can show you. There you go. All right. So I got this question this week, and I want to answer here right now live. So, do you find any value in running an ATS check through AI before submitting tailored resume and cover letters? Yes, 100%, 100%. First, you can save time using AI. Second, you can get more accurate on your description. You can make a better alignment to your resume to the job description, which is 100% needed. And the better you present yourself, um, you know, the better you're gonna stand out from the crowd, right? Now, yeah, 100%. I was tailored. Now, what people get frustrated sometimes, and I know that, is that because they're applying to 100 jobs a week. So how can you find time to tailor 100 resumes and 100 cover letters? No, the problem is not tailoring the resume to the job, is not tailoring the cover letter. The problem is that you're applying way too many jobs, and you can say, Davidson, it's the market's hard, and I have to apply as many jobs as I can. No, you have to apply to as many jobs as you can strategically. Okay, I talked about this all the time. If you're getting 100 invitations from hiring managers and recruiters to apply for jobs, then you do 100 applications. You make time for it. You find the time, but don't just blindly cold apply for 100 jobs every single day or week. Otherwise, you're gonna get burned, and then you're not gonna be able to personalize the applications, and then you're gonna say that it's impossible to do. Yes, because it is impossible to do. So take a step back. Okay, you have to personalize. You still have to personalize. You still have to put the work. It's not gonna be easy, but at the same time, you have to be strategic. So apply to less jobs, personalize better. You know, I don't want my clients to go applying everywhere. But now here's a principle, okay? Um, you want to be like you want to have at least like 5 targeted applications every single week. Sorry, at least one a day. Very strong, targeted, personalized. Run through the AIs, get a strong resume. Specific company. And let's say if you're cold applying, but you do all the work that needs to be done on your side, then and then you still apply. It's okay. Just don't go out try to do that for 100 organizations. You're gonna get burned out quickly, and then you're gonna get frustrated, and then you're gonna get so it's gonna be you're gonna be thinking about the external things that you cannot control, which is the you know did, how many applicants are here? Is my resume even good? Am I any good? So you start questioning yourself because you're throwing yourself out there so many times that every single time you do that, it takes a piece of your mental and your strength as a job seeker. So you gotta conserve energy, right? Be strategic, you know. Show hustle, show hard work strategically, right? Uh, Activity alone does not mean productivity. Activity alone does not mean productivity. So maybe you're super active in your job search, but you're not productive, right? That makes sense. So hopefully this helps. So let's talk about this type of a job seeker here. Any questions on that? I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna talk about the number 4. Strategy here. So there's 9. Everyone, there's 9 type of job seekers out there. And because I coach and help tech sellers, there's 9 types of tech sellers out there. And today I'm going to talk about number 4. Last week I don't have my notes here. I think I touched it. But last week I talked about 3. Today I'm going to talk about this one here. It's called the Strategic Explorer. All right. Here's the deal with the Strategic Explorer. I'm going to read it here because you are visible and active. No, I'm sorry. This is the strategic operator. Scatter operator. I want to talk about strategic explorer. You are smart. You have a smart plan, but weak systems and inconsistent execution. Progress is possible with the right structure. Again, everyone. So if you're a strategic explorer, you have a smart plan, but weak systems and inconsistent execution. So progress is possible with the right structure. So here's a quote that I found that defines this strategic explorer here. All right. That without strategy, without execution, is hallucination. That's what that actually came from Thomas Edison. Strategy without execution is hallucination. So you want to execute with a strategy. All right. So you if you are a strategic explorer, this is how you fix. All right. So let's go here. Actually, all right. So, you want to get to the offer. You want to get to the offer, but you are a strategic explorer. So what's and then you of course you haven't got to the offer yet, right? So you are having a hard time getting to the offer. Let's help you today. Okay, strategic explorer. If you are a strategic explorer, you are high in strategy. You have a good strategy. You know what you want. You know, maybe you have your companies lined up. You know, you're thinking about the timelines in different things, and you have a so let's call it this communication. All right, everyone. If you are a strategic explorer, all right, and you're trying to get to the offer, right on the center, you have a smart plan, but you're weak systems and you're inconsistent with execution. So you have to strengthen your strategy, your systems, your like maybe your daily activity, and just be consistent. That's it. That's how you're gonna get to the offer. Okay. So you are. I'm gonna get the red here. Where's the green? The green. And so red again, red bad and green good, right? It sounds like that. Um, Someone here said something. Okay, maybe not. Cool. All right, so you can drop your questions here, and I'm live, so I can answer any questions you have. And if you don't know which profile you are, just take the quiz. Take the quiz today. Okay, it's right on my profile. So let's see. So you high on strategy. So you're green. You're green. You're good. You're green on strategy. Your medium of visibility. So you do have some visibility because you have a LinkedIn profile. I'm gonna say it like this. Your median kind of medium of visibility, right? It's like, yeah, it's okay. You can do much better. But communication, same thing. It was kind of medium of communication. So you're really good at strategy. So what do you got to do? What do you got to think? Think about how you can ramp up your visibility game, right? When I talk about visibility, is a big word for a reason, and I like to use that word because it means networking, right? It means your brand, your personal brand. It means like staying active on LinkedIn, right? We just talked about being on the call today. Just stand out, you gotta stay active on LinkedIn. Um, it's talking to people, it's networking, doing information interviews, it's doing all things that you can do to bring that visibility a little bit higher, right? To the point that you are actually green. And communication, uh, you probably land on interviews, but because you're kind of a inconsistent execution, then you might not send follow-ups, or you might not like you're kind of weak on your preparation for your interviews. So you do have a strategy, but it's just kind of the systems and execution is really weak. So that's you strategic explorer. Does that make sense? Questions? I can dive deeper, a little bit deeper. If, by the way, on my master class, I'm going to be speaking about that for an hour and a half, about what you can do to increase visibility, right? What you can do to get better communication, what you can do to get better strategy. So if you don't even have a profile, if you're listening for this for the first time, I did create a quiz that you can take. I'm actually gonna drop here really fast the link. I'm going to drop here in case you're curious, in case you don't know what I'm talking about. Um, uh, if you don't know your job seeker profile, take the quiz today. All right, just a little plug here for the quiz, because I think it's important, and I think you should definitely do it. Now, today, so I talked about Strategic Explorer. Now I want to talk about a little bit about the next one is, let me open here, and it's so many screens open here. My cell phone, 3 screens, I'm just lost. You just disappeared. Give me a second. Where did it go? There we go. So the other one, the other profile, it's called the scatter operator. So this is it's a good one. This is very interesting. Job seeker. So let me write down here. It's someone who is is a hustler. It's operating at like 100 miles an hour. But, but not getting the offer, right? So why? Why the scattered operator is not getting to the offer? Right? Let's find out right now. So you're visible and active because you're moving all over the place, but your efforts are just chaotic. It's just like without focus, all the noise, end up leading to nowhere. So you're applying everywhere. You are you just like you are using LinkedIn and you're using like 5 other job search tools. You're just trying to follow all the advices of all the experts, and you're following like 10 career coaches, and you're just like all over the place, and you're doing a lot. But being busy is not the same as being productive, right? We talked about that a little bit earlier. I think it was, I don't know. I'll give credit to, I think, Robin Sharma. I've seen that before. Being busy is not the same as being proactive, productive. So you're a scatter operator, okay? So you're really high on visibility. You're really good. Like on visibility, let me put it over here. So let me use this here. Yeah, visibility. You're really hot. You're really high on visibility. You're like a networker. Maybe you're like probably an extrovert. You're really good at visibility because you can be, network events, job search, forums. You can go live, network your way, um, and you're active on LinkedIn, and you're like liking posts, and you're like doing what it needs to be done on visibility. You're networking, and you're doing all those things. Now your strategy, because you are scattered all over the place, your strategy needs to be fixed. You're eventually going to land a job. Don't get me wrong. I mean, all those profiles again, all those 9 profiles, it's not like they're bad. It's just that it just talks about where your current state, right? You can always move to the offer. You can always get the job, no matter which profile you are. It's just you're gonna have a different journey, right? Let's think about those type of profiles and those type of job seekers as different journeys to get to the offer, right? Now, your strategy, yeah, it's medium. It's more like you kind of lack more strategy than you have strategy. So I would say it's more like this. Now, your communication is kind of medium to high because if you jump on a if you jump on a sales call, if you jump on an interview, if you talk to someone on an informational, you can probably talk about yourself. You can probably answer other questions. You have your stars lined up, and you can answer, the interviews. You're probably doing okay, but you still have to, your storytelling, it's still a little bit scattered, and that's the reason why you're not getting to the offer. So it's still a little bit red over there. That's just something that you can do. So I'd say it's like it's high to medium. Your communication, your strategy is just medium, so more like low. So with the scouted operator, you really have to take a step back and think a little bit more about, get a little bit more focused, more strategic on the companies that you want to apply, the people that you want to network with, and maybe a couple of AI tools that can help you to do a better research on who's the hiring manager, who you can probably reach out to, or do some deep research on the organization before you talk to them. So that be a little bit more strategic. So all over the place, you're doing a lot of activities, but then you're just scattered. So that's kind of your profile, how your profile looks like. Um, any questions? That makes sense. Hopefully, I'll slow down a little bit, and I can talk about other stuff too. Okay. Again, if you don't know your profile, you can just take the quiz. It takes like 2 minutes, and you'll be surprised. Spent a lot of time. The last couple of months. Oh, that's my daughter. My daughter made this picture. She came to the office to help me yesterday, and that's what she did. Anyways, I have a lot of every call I have, I take notes, and I'm trying to map a plan. Right. I did a lot of so the last 2 or 3 months. I did a lot of one-on-one calls, like 30 minutes, 1 hour calls, trying to help as many people as I could. I'm not doing those anymore right now. I'm doing the masterclass, which you can just join the masterclass. It's 2 hours. But I did all those calls, and and a lot of those people that I talked with, they are actually on this profile. It's just a scattered operator, right? They just need to be more tuned up with their strategy. Sometimes they just don't know what they don't know, right? Sometimes it's just a matter of having an outside perspective, someone who can see, because a lot of those people, a lot of those job seekers, they are just busy at work. They're just busy trying to do what they need to do to hit their quotas, hit their numbers, and then but when it comes to their job search, maybe they are very organized and they follow systems and they're very strategic on their job, but then when it comes to their job search, they're kind of a little bit lost. So, you know, again, being busy is not the same as being productive. Make sure you spend your time being busy with productive job search activities, just like you do in work for your job as a seller. All right, everyone. Now I want to talk about this one, and then I want to. This is the last one I want to talk about. I don't think I'll have time. So I'm just gonna stop here, talk about those profiles. I'm gonna go over now to my page this week, and I want to talk about my posts, a couple of my posts, and I usually post things that are, current in my head that I see a lot. That maybe I can get out of a call with a client or with a potential client, and I have this thought of, okay, this is what I can make a post out of this. So I try to be current on the things that I post. um, so yesterday, let me open here. Actually, I'm going to share my screen. Let me see. You can see the sun's right on my face here. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Uh, okay, right here. So yesterday, here's my page. I'm on the side right there. Okay, so here we go. So yesterday I posted about this. I talked about this all the time. I absolutely hate the green banner. For multiple reasons, I already made a post about that. I just don't like it. I just don't like what it represents. I don't like, what people are going through when they are, out of work. So it just reminds me all the people who are suffering, all the people who are struggling. I just don't like the green banner. Anyway, so I made a post yesterday. I hate the green banners. I put my little DayvissonGPT face here. Of course, a lot of you know quick design here. But if you're applying cold and you're not getting interviews, there's a reason why. So like positioning, make your LinkedIn work for you. We already talked about LinkedIn. How you can get visibility on LinkedIn. You have to use LinkedIn. Build a refer first strategy. Make the interview before you are in it, and then follow this. I guarantee you, if you just follow this process here, you're gonna start seeing more results, automatic results. All right. Now, let's go back here. Any questions? So I like this quote here, and I want to actually close with this post here. Let me see. This is very interesting stats. 2.5 applicants per LinkedIn posts, up to 1.5 in 2022. Nearly 40% of candidates apply more, but hear back less. 44% of job seekers report being ghosted by employers. Over 30% of job listing omit salary details, which a lot of employers now are actually posting the salary range, which is amazing. It's really good. I think has changed a lot. But 72% of job seekers say the process negatively impacts their mental well-being. So that's why I talk a lot about mindset. The job search is a mindset game because so that's why strategy is so important. Clarity is so important. Otherwise, you just get cluttered. Otherwise, you get lost. Otherwise, you get frustrated. Otherwise, you think about the economy. You think about the external factors that you cannot control. You gotta protect your mind. You gotta protect your well-being. You gotta protect your own values, your own strengths internally first, so you can go out and crush it, and then do the best you can during the interview process. Um, let's see. I want to go back to this quote here in just a second. I just want to see if there's any other posts that I talked about this week. I want to make a comment here. I did post. Okay, so I did post those. If you go to any of those links here, it has their like instruction. The reason I put Google, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia, big techs, just because, of course, almost everyone wants to work for big tech. Not everyone wants to work for big tech, but they are the hardest one to get into it, right? So they are the most competitive. So if you can get into those, you can get into, let's be honest, basically any other organization. And so if you can learn how to get to the big ones, then you can get to the small ones or the medium ones, whatever organization you want to work for. So of course it's not perfect. Of course it's not like 100% ideal, but it does help. And actually, I put a link here for the post, the Microsoft resume that I used uh, to get into Microsoft. And then there is a bunch of templates of Harvard resumes that floats around here on LinkedIn every week. You can at least see once. It's a good template. Let's be honest. And then you can leverage this one as well. But I want to talk about this year. We only have 5 minutes left. Only have 5 minutes left today, and I want to talk about this quote here. Nope. This one. All right, here. So I This quote comes from one of the t-shirts that I have for ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is digital marketing. It's I attended their training once a year, their convention, and I really love this quote here because a lot of the job search is a mental game. So as you're looking for jobs, just pay attention on your LinkedIn feed, pay attention on social media feed, pay attention on the people that you're hanging out with. So surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and the thinkers. But most of all, surround yourself with those who see the greatness within you, even when you don't see yourself. So I absolutely love this coach. As a career coach, I do exactly that, right? I see people's greatness even when they cannot see themselves. One of my biggest goals is to bring that greatness in people, is to make them believe in themselves. And honestly, a lot of times that can be a biggest one of the biggest challenges, right? As a job seeker, it's that you have the skills, you have the resume, you have the cover letter, you have a LinkedIn profile, you're trying to network, and then you are, trying to be strategic, but you're not taking care of your mindset. That is going to come across your communication. That during the interview process, that's going to come across how you talk to people, how excited you are, how you smile. We're human beings. We're also spiritual beings, and the energy that you're transferring to other people is going to come across. So you have to have energy. You have to have not only on your non-verbals, but also on your mind, on your heart. You have to be, tuned up to who you are and to your skills. So surround yourself with the dreamers. Dreamers are those who are trying to do the things that everyone's just thinking about it. Everyone's just kind of dreaming about it. They just go and execute. Everyone wants to do it. Everyone wants to be a high performer, but only the dreamers were executing, actually doing, right? Surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the ones who are doing, making the dreams become true, and the believers, because you have to have a lot of faith and courage to do what you believe, to get unstuck, right? Beginning of the call, we talked about um, when it's time to move on, right? If one of those are missing, it's okay. If two of those are missing, it's a red flag. If three of those are missing, it's time to move on. But you gotta believe in yourself, okay? And you gotta surround yourself with people who believe in yourself. So that's my little closing here for today. That as you continue to look for jobs, as you continue to find better opportunities, as you continue to um, get unstuck, you have to surround yourself with the dreamers, the doers, and the believers, and find someone who can see in yourself what you cannot see in yourself. It's just find a mentor, build your board of advisors, find a job search coach, find you know if you're married or if you just confine with your spouse. A lot of times though, the people who are closest to you, they don't see. A lot of times they just know who you are already, so they don't. You gotta get outside of your comfort zone. You gotta get outside of your circle. But as you get outside, you gotta circle yourself. Join a community, maybe of job seekers. Join a community of tech sellers. Join a community of people who are kind of in the same situation. Uh, the dreamers, the doers, the believers. But but most of all, surround yourself with those who see the greatness within you, even when you don't see yourself. All right. Hopefully, everyone have a great week. Hopefully, this was great. Hopefully, this is going to help someone um, today. Again, DayvissonGPT. I will I will be live here next week. Um, yes, next week, next Friday. I'm thinking about doing this, breaking down this in pieces. So doing a little bit every day, so I can give like some news about Excels. I can show live how you should approach the application process. If you see an opening, we can give immediate feedback on immediate situations that you're seeing. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a great week.